My name is Doug Hardy. I'm a retired dentist. I have 2 children I couldn't be any more proud of. I have 4 grandchildren. My mom, Jane, was 88 years old, and if there's one thing you can say about my mom is she was generous beyond words, just a lovely person. My mom, she'd always had these nodules on her lungs, but then when she had a CT, when we went in, because she couldn't breathe real well, she had the flu as it turned out, in December, and one of the nodules had grown from virtually nothing to 3/4 of an inch in less than a year. And then when the MRI came back, I took a look and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I thought there was something wrong with the image. She had cancer all over the place and all up and down her spine, thoracic and lumbar region, her middle and lower part of her back. From there, the last 3 days at her home, we were on hospice. I had oral morphine that I was administering, and of course the hospice is great. The nurses come around and stuff like that. But over the weekend, she really started to go down, and finally my son came by on a Wednesday and said that just be with her for a little bit, and she was trying to tell she needed to go to the bathroom, so we helped her kind of get to the bathroom, but then she couldn't sit down, she couldn't go, and then when I turned around to go back out, I saw him crying, and I realized that this is over with. This is unsustainable for me. I'd been up for 3 days practically straight, and I was losing, I just couldn't do it anymore. That morning, we'd had the social worker from hospice come in, and we had taken a tour of the hospice house previously because we were wondering if that's where we want to go. And my wife and I, when we walked in, we were absolutely blown away by the beauty of it, the quiet, the calm, the peace of the thing, how it was decorated, everything about it was just peaceful and beautiful. And then he took us into one of the rooms, and it was like, oh my gosh, it could not have been any better. Then not too long after that, my wife came, and then the nurse came, and the ambulance came to transport her, and we followed over to the ambulance over, and by the time we got there, they already had her in the bed, and she was just comfortable. The nurse came through, checked my mom, and then she sat down with me for I think it was 20 minutes, asked how I was doing, what she could do for me. And I just needed someone to love me a little bit too. And now I could be her son, and now be taking care of her. And I'm just so grateful to have that opportunity to just be her son. And every time we would come in, the nurses would take care of her, but then they'd spend 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes with us, talking to us about how we were, what they could do, just letting us vent and hear them and express our concerns. And then at the end, one of the nurses there, she thought was going to be tonight, and I was still trying to catch up on sleep, and I just couldn't do it. And so I called my sister in Bloomington, and she drove up, and she got there around 11, and we sat together with Mom until about 12, and then I went home, and she called me at 1:45, and by the time I got back, my mom had passed, and by the time I went in the room, they already had the bed so beautifully made around her, and they stepped away to let me have time with her. I mean, it was just, it was a perfect ending. One of the things about my mom too, she didn't want anyone else to know about her condition. It just was killing me not to tell her friends on the hallway and stuff like that. But that was her. She didn't want anyone making a fuss over her. If anyone is considering that, or at the point where they think they might want to consider, first thing I would tell them is go take a look. The Franciscan House, like I said, it's beautiful. It's beautiful on the outside, and then when you walk on the inside, you're just dumbfounded by how gorgeous and well appointed it is. The other thing about the Franciscan Hospice House was they have this beautiful garden, and we went and spent time there. The doors you can open to get outside, and they have beautiful windows that overlook things. It was just the most peaceful thing for her when she was awake to look outside. At least I want to believe that gave her peace as well. I just cannot say enough wonderful things about the Hospice House, about hospice in general, but the Hospice House was just perfect. If I could thank everyone, every member of the staff, and just tell them, show them what's in my heart. There's no way words can express what I feel about all the people who work there that we met. If my mom were here right now listening to me be interviewed, she'd say, why are you crying? She said, I had great care. You took care of me as well as you possibly could. But she would also be putting her arms around the hospice house.